Hello and welcome back to my series where we're going to be talking about probably my favorite aspect of zombicide, and that is the abominations. The abominations is basically what you can say the bosses of each zombicide game, and they actually exist in pretty much all versions of the timeline. But I'm going to go over every single abominations I owe, and yes, I do know that they exist. Some abominations that I don't own, and I'm not going to be talking about the dragon in this video because I think he deserves a video entirely for himself. So I'm only going to be focusing on the ones I do have, and my experience with them, and why I think it's such an interesting mechanic to have in your game. So the first one is the normal abomination. And here's his model. You can see it's basically looked like a big, just a big guy. And here is the standard one from Zombicide Black Plague, the basic of the basics. So pretty much everything I don't mention about the other abominations, because of you can always refer back to him about, simply because he is the first. So abominations are the strongest kind of zombie. They can normally only be eliminated by a power of 3, meaning I think I only own one weapon that can give 3 from it by itself, and else you need to use either skills or weapon skills to reach that level, or the dragonfire weapon to deal with the abominations, which I actually find really interesting, because when they spawn, the question is how to deal with them, because yes, most of them you can run away from a long time, but anyone who have played a little bit of Zombicide knows that keeping the zombies at bay and at a lower number actually makes it a little bit easier, and the abomination can throw a wrench in it if they stand in the way and you cannot eliminate them. Simply because, with all zombies, if they're standing in the same zone as one of the survivors, you need to use 2 actions to just get away from him, that one, meaning you can quickly run out of action. So yeah, eliminate on the power 3, and he does 1 damage. And when he dies, he gives 5 XP to level up. So the next one we're going to talk about is one I normally call my unicorn, because I think he is the one who have ended the most game, and that is the Wolf Abomination from Wolfenberg's expansion. And he is a little bit larger than the previous one. And what makes him special is, you can maybe already see it down here, he has, please focus camera, 2 seconds, this is, yeah, he has 3 actions. And it's the same amount of actions that the wolves have and an actor at level 1 had. At level 2 you have 4 actions, but the fact that he can move 3 times or attack 3 times, or move once and attack twice, makes him incredibly deadly. And as I told you, as I just said, he's probably the one who have ended most of my runs straight out. I have had runs where he literally spawns on top of some of my characters, and just as soon as he activated the first time, he killed one of them. So yeah, he's both my favorite character, zombies, abomination, and as I said, my unicorn, the ones I always fear will spawn, simply because of how much he moves around. The next one is from Zombicide Green Horde, and where he is. Wait, did I forget to pick him up? No, he's here. And that is this green one, and he goes by the Green Horde ruling, so he has the Orcish strength. So what makes him special is that he actually does 3 pound of damage when he hits you, meaning he can literally one-shot anyone. And one thing I forgot to mention about all Abomination is they ignore armor classes because of their strength. It's so my preferred playstyle of building an extremely tanky character is pretty much out of the way when an abomination is on the field. And especially him, if he gets to you, you are just dead. this is also why he is such a interesting one. While I do think it's a very similar one, and the next one we're going to talk about kind of took his place really much. I actually still like his design, this almost melting orc, simply because, yeah, I just like it. He was also my first abomination, so he holds a little bit of special place in my heart. That leads us into the next one from Zombicide, Friends and Foes, in the Tainted Abomination. And this is the one I told you kind of took over the ways of the zombie, the orc abominations, because he kind of goes by the orc rules too, and he also do 3 damage. But what makes him a little special, if he's eliminated in the same zone as a survivor, like here, he will explode, and unless you have one certain item like the mask, you will actually take 3 damage wounds, literally knocking you out. And again, no armor rolls makes this extremely dangerous. So this was the first wave of abomination. So now we're moving into the Khan abomination, and what makes him special is actually since White Death was kind of a reset from the other sets, but focusing more about having a wall, he's allowed to climb over the wall, but he only still does 1 damage, and again, ignore armor rolls. But this, again, I will stop mentioning that because simply all abominations does that. And I think he probably could have some more interesting about him, but again, White Death was kind of a reset for Zombicide to try something new, and I actually kind of like it that they now have this climbing abomination, especially if you play him in, I think it's the Wolfenburg expansion, where they actually have some walls and using him to climb over them to change the dynamic of the game. And the last kind of normal abominations is the God Eater abomination. He come out in Eternal Empire, and his whole deal is he is focusing on that chi. So when he spawns in, he will take a chi from everyone. So basically can completely ruin plans if you're planning on using chi to survive an encounter or anything. But what really makes him special is he actually trying to ignore the players, and he's going for, let's see if I can find it, these statues instead, which you are able to generate a huge amount of chi with. So in a case like this, where you have the player here and the statue here, he will actually move up here, because in the next turn he will try to destroy it. And these chi statues are actually pretty important for Eternal Empire in order to unleash most of the power of it without constantly having to meditate. So while he isn't my favorite abomination, I actually think he is... wait, what? He actually looks pretty cool, and I think it's an interesting to have an abomination that instead of hunting down the players, hunting down objects. And the last one is the Divine Beast. Now, this is why this video is probably going to be one of the longer ones, because these completely change how the game is played. Right now you can only see there's a bird here, because this is what I call an event. They will only be here for a certain amount of time, or turns, before they just leave. So, when the Divine Beast spawn, the first one will spawn is the Vermilion Bird, which, when it spawns in, it has, again, a certain amount of turns before it leaves. Let's just put it down here so you guys can see it. And that comes in a form of the Divine Beast deck. And as you can see, each of the Divine Beast have 3 cards, and when the 3rd card is gone, the next turn they will activate, they will just disappear, and on the nearest spawn location, they will spawn the next one. Or if you manage to eliminate them, the next one will spawn at the nearest spawning point, which I actually find really interesting. So what makes all of them different from each other is actually, let's see if I can find it here. Each of them have their own rule set and how to eliminate them. Like if we take the Vermilion Bird, you can see it can only be hit with a range 2 attack for a single. So you cannot, you have to use range attack to deal with it. And when it's defeated, it again will spawn the next one. Unless something, unless you're finishing a game, I guess. The next one that will spawn is the White Tiger. And here's the, while he can only be eliminated by 2 hits of a melee weapon, meaning that just because you manage to eliminate the bird with a range attack, if you don't have a melee setup that can deal with it, he might be able to get to the character that defeated the bird and eliminate him quickly, because you forgot to have the weapon for the next beast ready. And I really find it interesting how they work together. Now, if they manage to either stall it out or eliminate him, the next one that spawns is the Black Tortoise. Which, if we can, while we're looking at this fine figurine, and I can get this to focus. Please focus. It can only be hit by a 2 attack vault weapon, meaning you have to find the rare weapons that are provided within the game. And the vault weapons are often tied to either object or abominations in this era of zombicide, but having these creatures, having a creature that is such hard shelled that you have to find a vault weapon to deal with it, again makes it such an interesting creature to fight. And it also, again, I forgot to mention, each of them come with an extra ruling down here, where here you can see this is the last of the priority ordering. So unlike all other Abomination, who is the first or second of the target ordering, the Black Tortoise would always be the last one in the targeting ordering. So making it kind of hard to deal with if you have a ranged vault weapon, if you're standing in the middle of a lot of other zombies. But say that you survive this guy and gets to the last one. And this is the big one, the Azure Dragon. Now you can even see how big he is compared to the other 3. Like, okay, maybe not the bird, but he is the final one. And surviving him also gained you a skill like every other of them do. But he can only be dealt damage by a damage 3, a cauldron, or dragon fire, which is all the highest power you can reach. But what makes them all nasty is actually that they don't act like normal zombies. You can see here, if this guy has the special thing that in the beginning of the zombie phase, that means before you draw, let's see if I can get it to focus because I'm absolutely bad at this. Before you activate the zombies, all survivors the Azure Dragon can see will suffer 1 damage. And then you will have to draw his card, which all of them are absolutely insane. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of them because I think that's the interesting part. But I am going to go over what you get from actually deciding to fight them, and that is their skill. Now, skills is basically what makes a character a character. Like in here, you can see search, draw 2, and which makes them stronger and stronger the more they level up. But defeating a divine beast actually allows you to gain an additional skill, which can be used at a blue level. And the 3 skills you can get is from the Vermilion Bird, you get sprint, basically making you able to move up to I think it's 3 spaces once per action each turn. Bloodlust Combat, which allow you to charge into combat and make a melee attack for 1 action. Ironhide to make you tanky and one of my absolute favorite skill. And Lucky, that allows you to reroll once per attack with your skills. And you can see skills themselves are pretty powerful. So if they spawn, they absolutely are worthy of trying to defeat one way or another. So I think, all in all, I love that I managed to get my hands on all of these lovely abominations, because it allows me to have many games that all of them almost never are the same. Of course, three of them, if you don't play with their special rules, pretty much will act that normally. Like if you play with the God Eater here, if you have no chi statues in the game, he will of course be just as the original one, while some of them simply breaks that mold. And personally, this is why I love Zombicide this much, is because every draw you have a chance to spawn these absolutely menacing creature that simply has to be dealt with as fast as possible, or else the game just kind of ends. Bringing this whole new way of playing the tactic version of the game, of should you spread out to make sure that you're ready. How much should you search for after you have gotten your build online? Should you continue to search for Dragonfire and Dragon Bile? Do you have what it takes to stop them if they spawn, or will you try to outrun them or push them away with like push or taunt, or try to control where they are? It's pretty much I don't think I've ever had a game where Abomination spawned and I was like, oh, we're just going to deal with it, unless it's a very, very late game and some of the characters already have reached red level and there are one who can deal with them. So yeah, this is the Zombicide's Abominations that I own. I know there exist more, and if I ever come across some of the others, I of course will pick them up, but I'm not going to go out my way to hunt them down, because I feel like I have a good variety. I have the super special ones, I have kind of special ones, but can play a little normally, which actually I find interesting with the new way that Abomination works, that you have can have three kind of normal zombies, and then have three little special, and then have the event of zombies. And of course the dragon, which I will speak about in its own video. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it, and you can have a good day. Bye.